Hey guys, how is it going? Hope you guys are having a great day today. Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to do a quick review on our new solo raid that is currently going on, which is Kingdom of Madness. And yeah, we're going to talk about it and the artifacts and the bosses and sub-bosses and different things about the solo raids. Alright guys, so if you're new to the channel and if you are watching this video for the first time, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell notification for further updates on videos just like this. Alright guys, so let's first talk about the solo raid bosses and sub-bosses. So, I think the first boss, Last Love the Joker, to be honest, he is obviously not that difficult. He is not having like any crazy sort of modifiers on him, and he can be easily defeated. So at this point, I would say at Heroic 1, I defeated this boss. I basically did a one-shot. And Last Love the Joker, to be honest, is not that difficult. Now moving on to boss Swamp Thing. Now Swamp Thing has a few things that a beginner might face some issues with. The first thing is the tagging of a, let's say, a minion. And there is a silver Swamp Thing that tags in, instead of boss Swamp Thing. There is a timer. When it goes out, then that silver Swamp Thing tags in, and at that point, he is not that difficult to defeat, but there is one other boss that has the same kind of modifier, and which is boss Last Love the Joker himself, which is not obviously on this soul raid but in Dawn of Apocalypse. But I think he is not that difficult to defeat, but if in case you are like a complete beginner and you've just started playing the game in like a month ago, or a month or maybe a couple of months, at that point you might face some issues to maintain the combo, but all in all, once again, this boss again is not that difficult for an intermediate player or a pro player. I don't think people will face any issues in defeating boss Swamp Thing. All right guys, now, and yeah, he is also having like a shield, which gets out in no time, so there is no point in discussing about that as well. All right guys, now moving on to Batwoman the Drowned. Alright guys, Batwoman the Drowned is one of those bosses that again is not that difficult to defeat, and if you have the right set of characters, I think if you go against Batwoman the Drowned with the same character, Batwoman the Drowned with, let's say, Crown of Kandak, or let's say if you don't have Batwoman the Drowned, then you can also take it down with with Batman and Catwoman. And I think the modifiers again are also not that difficult over here. I think you can still take it down. Maybe you might face some issues if you are a complete beginner, but apart from that, I don't see any issues with Batman the Drowned as well. All right guys, now moving on to Batman Who Laughs. Now this has been a pain to a lot of people, and yeah, believe me now, Batman Who Laughs is actually having a modifier which allows him to power drain a character, and if you tag in with another character, then he will eventually deal a DOT, damage over time. So this is why, and Batman Who Laughs is kind of making a lot of people grind a lot while defeating him. So I think if you use a team like Batwoman the Drowned, or if you use Batman and Catwoman, and I think even Raven can be used with the LOA team. You don't need to have gears on Raven. You can use Last Laugh the Joker. That's the best thing to do, because then you don't have to do a lot of specials. Like he will basically do a lot of power drain. You can steal power with Raven. You can do the darkness. You can steal power with Raven. You like basically let's talk about the gameplay. You do a special one. You apply the darkness. You swipe back. Let Joker come to you. Do a few basic hits. Swipe the power. To basically steal the power. Do the darkness stacks, and then you tag in your Last Laugh the Joker. Do the basic hits, tag in Raven. So this is basically what you need to follow if you want to make sure that you defeat boss Batman Who Laughs. And with Batman the Drowned, I think you can just need to, even if you have like let's say God Killer, you can put God Killer on Batman the Drowned, do the basic hits, continue doing the combo, put in Arkham Knight Batman, or John Stewart Green Lantern in your team. If you don't have Arkham Knight Batman, it's no problem. You can just switch it with let's say John Stewart Green Lantern. And yeah, I mean, if you have Crown of Conduct, it's great. It's great. If you have Batman who laughs, it's great. But if you don't, no worries. You just need to use these teams. And then at the end, you can also use Batman Ninja Catwoman. You can just put in Zatanna's puppet. And yeah, he won't exactly do power drain. Even if it does DOT damage, you will heal with the special 2 of Batman Ninja Catwoman. So I think these 3 teams should be good enough to take down boss Batman who laughs. Now, boss Robin King, now he cannot be stunned or frozen. He is having a hazard, which kind of moves a little bit slow, compared to like what we thought, like, the way it was mentioned in the modifiers. A lot of people might have gotten wrong ideas, but then even I got some wrong ideas. I thought that he might be giving a lot of pain to a lot of people, including me. But on the other hand, when we played with this character, I think he is not that difficult. But the thing is that you need to remember is that you cannot just lose a lot of health on your characters, because if you do, then that particular character, that particular damage dealer won't do any single attack. He will obviously become unhittable. Completely unhittable. Not even with the basic hits you can touch him, or with the specials. So that is one thing that you need to be really careful about. And I think if you're using team against him like Batwoman the Drowned, you can also go with King to do the percentage damage with the clones, but make sure that your clones does not land on that particular hazard. And if they do, then obviously they won't be of any use. They will just do damage. They won't do any damage, because boss Robin will become unhittable. And yeah, apart from that, Batman Ninja Catwoman team is going to be great over here. Even though there is a hazard, you can still heal with the special 2. So that's one thing you can use. All in all, let's talk about the rating. Let's say I would say that in terms of difficulty level, this is not that difficult compared to Dawn of Apocalypse, or compared to Ancient Judgment, like the main boss, compared to Rise of Krypton. He is not that difficult. I would say it's still an okay defeatable solo raid, but yeah, you just need to be careful about your gameplay whenever you are playing against boss Robin. Now let's talk about a few sub bosses over here. Atrocitus might be an issue, because Atrocitus and Batman both, they are both tier 5 sub bosses. Let me just show it to you. They might give you some issues, because they convert the lethal and critical attack into normal damage. So this is where you need to use your percentage damage dealers as much as possible. If you're using the LOA team, make sure that you have dark metal cards on Harley Quinn or the Joker. And then apart from that, these 2 sub bosses are not that difficult. Now, there are some bosses which have a chaos modifier. The good thing is that we don't have any character, or any sub boss with the reflective shield. That's a good thing. Yeah, chaos modifier is not that difficult with the new characters that we have. That modifier can easily be tackled, and you can do the damage. So all in all, this solo raid is decent in terms of the difficulty. It could have been worse, with the reflective shield and with some crazy other modifiers that we have in the other solo raids. It's not like that. So I'm just comparing the solo raid with Dawn of Apocalypse and Rise of Krypton and the main boss for Ancient Judgment or Nice. This is still better than those. So yeah, I would say that it's okay. Now let's talk about the artifacts. Artifacts are average. Yeah, artifacts are average. I've basically used 2 artifacts from this solo raid, which is the Sharp Scythe, obviously, and the other one that I have, let's take a look at that. The other one that I have is Harley's Mallet. Okay, now Harley's Mallet can be used on Harley Quinn, and she can do some decent damage as well, but not like Crown of Conduct. Okay, let's open, I think it should be there, Harley's Mallet. If not, then we'll just pick it up. Okay, all right, where is it? Sharp Scythe is below average, I would say. Now Harley's Mallet is one of those artifacts that you need to stun the opponent with that particular character. Make sure that you remember that. You need to stun the opponent with that particular character who is having Harley's Mallet, and then you can do increased damage. Now this will eventually increase as the level of the artifact will increase, but it's just around 100% right now. And the other thing that it does is it's going to apply stun for opponents that's going to tag in. So might be handy in the arena as well. If you're playing arena, and if you have this artifact on one of your characters, and if in case the opponent is tagging in, they'll get stunned, and that's the 61% chance for getting the opponent stun. So this is also not huge like you know, Crown of Kandak or let's say Dark Metal cards, or let's say what do we have, that Nova Snow Globe. Okay, it's not like that, but it's still okay. It does some decent damage. So the artifacts, again, I've also made a special video for the artifacts. Again, check it out in the playlist. I'm sorry, not in the playlist, in my video section, especially for twisted artifacts. So the artifacts, again, are average, really average. And as far as the rewards are concerned, it's all going to be crappy because the reward system hasn't really changed in a very long time. Alright guys, so that's my thoughts, my reviews, my opinion on the solo raids. Maybe it's something different for you, and it doesn't matter because people are going to have different opinions about one particular thing. So like in this case, it's the solo raid event. Alright guys, so if you have any questions, any doubts about the solo raid, please let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer them to you. Alright guys, so thank you for your time. You guys have a great day ahead. Take care of yourselves, be blessed, and stay safe. Have a good one guys. Bye bye.